What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Well, there were two title matches on last night as Orange Cassidy defends the All-Atlantic Championship and Darby Allin puts his TNT Championship on the line. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Warner Brothers Discovery blocks Jay Briscoe's tribute, major concern for Kevin Nash after distressing comments, a former WWE Diva returning at the Royal Rumble, breaking news as Vince McMahon settles allegation, a former WWE superstar seen in AEW, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number one, the monster behind the mask. Do we really know MJF? Well, not according to this promo where Wrestling Salt of the Earth said no one knows who the monster is behind the mask, and that unfortunately for the American Dragon, he's gonna find out. MJF has always been a diabolical heel, but this promo suggests MJF is ready to level up his villainy, a bad sign for Danielson. Number two, Danielson vs Bandito, solid match. Plenty to say about how good Danielson vs Bandito was, but the bottom line is that AEW continues to provide fans with phenomenal matches with strong storylines driving them. In this case, Bryan running MJF's gauntlet to secure an Iron Man match at Revolution. Number 3, MJF puts a bounty on Danielson. MJF's interaction with Brian Cage helped hype Cage's upcoming match with Bryan Danielson at the current AEW champion, told Cage he'd reward him handsomely if he breaks Danielson's arm, win, lose, or draw. Having MJF slap Cage and tell the big man that he wanted to use the same feeling of hate he now had against MJF against Danielson furthered MJF's reputation as a man who knows how to push people's buttons. Number 4, a good blend of comedy and wrestling. Last night's All-American Championship defense by Orange Cassidy and Jay Lethal was a good blend of comedy and wrestling. Orange Cassidy and Jay Lethal put on a fantastic match, but fans also got to enjoy a few laughs as Danhausen showed up, taking away a guitar from Jay Lethal before he could clobber OC with it. While Cassidy isn't an outright comedy character, he can serve that purpose while also putting on good matches. This was another example of how a good wrestling show provides something for everyone. Number 5, Saraya Storm heel turn. Was Saraya and Toni Storm's heel turn something that came out of nowhere? Not if you've been watching their interviews from the last 2 weeks. While it was a bit of a shock, it has potential as AEW seems to be going with a storyline of outsiders mocking AEW's homegrown stars. Number 6, Adam Page promo. Renee Paquette's backstage interview with Adam Page was a personal one, as Paquette told Page how her husband respects Page for bringing out the best in him, but also has some animosity towards him due to the competitive nature of the business. Hangman's promo revealed his emotions as he admitted he took offense at Moxley mocking his injury, but stating his win over Moxley helped him regain his honor and that he was ready to take out Moxley again if need be. Page kept things cryptic by saying he had fences to mend and hinting that he was going to ask Paquette to rely on message to Moxley. It's unknown where Page is going, but his words likely grabbed the fans' attention. Number 7, Top Flight wins. Has Top Flight reached the top in AEW? Well, not quite yet, but the win over the Young Bucks could be the start of something big, and AEW should consider pushing the popular young team as more than rising stars. And a banger main event. Darby Allin vs Kushida was a banger main event and an example of how to use Darby and the TNT Championship. Allin works well as an underdog, but he shouldn't be wrestling against big men every week when he can have fantastic matches against any number of opponents. Last night's title defense against Kushida was a showcase for both wrestlers, and major props to AEW for putting Kushida over so casual fans didn't think he was a bum who flew in from Japan to count the lights. The TNT Championship could work well as a workhorse title, something very clear from last night's match. That was a good. What about the bad is, not much, Jake Hager, a jobber who loves his hat. Has Jake Hager's career come down to being known as a guy who just loves his hat? Hager, a star who should have had championship gold in AEW, is just another example of AEW's unwillingness to push its big men as anything but enhancement talent. Now, I don't think Hager needs to win a world title, but he should be doing more than jobbing to wrestlers on a regular basis. There was nothing downright ugly, as it was a solid show from start to finish. Once again, AEW showed it's not afraid to use its established stars to put over talent it's trying to push. It doesn't always work, but it's the only way to ensure a promotion's longevity, as fans get tired watching the same wrestlers every week. AEW's tribute to Jay Briscoe was a nice touch, and rumor has it that Warner Media nixed AEW from putting on something bigger, but more on that in the news. What do you guys think of Dynamite this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at Ring of Honor tapes Jay Briscoe tribute show. At top of today's news, Ring of Honor paid tribute to Jay Briscoe by taping a show honoring his life and career. Dave Meltzer commented on the show during a recent Wrestling Observer Radio saying, "So they filmed a 1-hour show in Fresno tonight that'll be on Honor Club. They'll be doing another tribute show, which will be when they finally do the Ring of Honor television show. The first show will feature a lot of Jay matches, and the tribute show taped last night will as well when it's all put together. I'm not sure what day it'll be out, but there'll be another one." Meltzer added that there will be another memorial for Jay Briscoe at Ring of Honor's upcoming Supercard of Honor pay-per-view. Next up, Warner Bros. Discovery blocks Jay Briscoe tribute show. And although AEW acknowledged Jay Briscoe's passing, it did not hold a full-length tribute to him like it did after Mr. Brody Lee's passing. Dave Meltzer commented on why this didn't happen. It was a graphic at the start of the show, and then at the very end of the show there was a mention by Excalibur. A lot of the guys had armbands, a lot of them, but there was not any kind of big tribute because they were not allowed by Warner Media to do one. WrestleTalk noted it appears Warner Media essentially barred the Briscoes from AEW programming. Mark and Jay Briscoe had never appeared on AEW TV and were essentially stuck in Ring of Honor, reportedly because WBT had made a ruling based on comments Jay had made years ago, and he'd since apologized and made amends for multiple times. What do you think of Warner Media's decision? Sounds pretty disgusting, to be honest. Next up, concern for Kevin Nash after distressing comments. As some recent comments from Kevin Nash led to enforcement officers visiting his home to check on his personal well-being, TMZ Sports reported that listeners became concerned after Nash's comments during a recent podcast of how he'd been coping since the death of his son Tristan.
Time flies when you got a gun in your mouth. Time flies when you're having fun.
Nash did nothing to walk back on his comments, continuing the theme by saying,
"Do whatever the I want to do, as long as I leave a note."
Another TMZ report revealed the Volusia County Sheriff's Office in Florida tells TMZ Sports deputies reached out to 63-year-old Nash following the comments he made about his son's death on the Click This podcast. We're told Kevin explained to the VCSO that he had no intention to act on what he said, and that he was seemingly doing okay when they checked on him in person. Nonetheless, these are disturbing comments, and it's understandable why fans are very, very concerned about him. We hope Nash is going to be okay during this very difficult time. Next up, a former WWE Diva returning at the Royal Rumble. Could the universe be seeing former WWE Women's Champion Candice Michelle at the Rumble? While nothing has been mentioned by WWE, Michelle told Ring the Bella, "I'm down for it. Every 1 year they promoted that I was going to be there and people were like, 'Why didn't you show up?' I was like, the truth is that they never called me. They have a certain amount of people they gotta have, a certain look, group and all that stuff. I just haven't made the list yet, so I'm hoping this year it's in Texas. I live in Texas. It's a good year to go back, I'm just saying. I'm ready. I hope it happens, but we'll see what they do." In addition to her WWE fame, Michelle was also known as the GoDaddy Girl, appearing in a series of commercials. Candice was last seen in the WWE at 2019's Raw Reunion when she captured the 24/7 championship, briefly holding the belt. Next up, Vince McMahon settles allegation made. The Wall Street Journal has revealed that Vince McMahon has agreed to a multi-million-dollar settlement with Rita Chatterton. Chatterton accused McMahon of her in 1986. Wall Street Journal adds, Ms. Chatterton agreed to a lesser amount in the millions of dollars, one of the people familiar with the matter said, but the Journal could not determine the exact figure. The Wall Street Journal states that McMahon denies any wrongdoing, as Mr. McMahon denies and has always denied Ms. Chatterton. He settled a case solely to avoid the cost of litigation, said Jerry McDevitt, a lawyer for Mr. McMahon. Ms. Chatterton referred to the Journal to a lawyer, John Clune, who declined to comment. WWE didn't respond to the request for comment. What do you guys make of the story? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, a former WWE superstar seen in AEW. It's interesting news concerning former WWE superstar Summer Rae. The 39-year-old wrestler was seen backstage at AEW. Could this be the beginning of Summer stepping back into the ring? Ringside News reported Summer Rae was first spotted training in the ring with current WWE star Liv Morgan. Right after that, she posted a picture of herself being backstage on the 4th January edition of Monday Night Raw. Moreover, AEW correspondent Renee Paquette recently posted an Instagram story showing herself backstage with Saraya and Summer Rae on this week's episode of Dynamite. With AEW possibly doing a storyline of outsiders such as Saraya and Toni Storm battling AEW's homegrown talent, could Summer Rae enter the fray? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.